Yesterday, Fox News posted a damning headline that accused Zohran Mamdani of enraging an entire demographic. And here's the headline. It read, "Resurfaced Mamdani photos sparked social media firestorm. Outrage from key voting bloc, shameful." So 2 questions for you. What was the voting bloc that Mamdani offended so? And what was he doing in the photo? The answer to the first question, it was the Italian Americans to be sure. And the second question, here's the photo taken from June 2020. It says "take it down," and it is a picture. We had to blur it for you, but it's Mamdani flipping off a statue of Christopher Columbus, a notable Italian. So in response to the photo resurfacing, Columbus Heritage Coalition President Angelo Vivolo stated, "We will defend Columbus Day and Columbus statues. He is being disrespectful to the Italian American community. If you offend one community, you offend all communities." That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And then there was more backlash. Joseph Sclessa, the founder and president of the Italian American Museum, suggested it is unwise for Mamdani to alienate Italians, who the New York Post reported make up 8% of the population of New York City. He stated to eliminate such a large population of people would be a travesty. It's not inclusive, it's exclusionary. Who's to say who is a hero and who is not a hero? Columbus is our hero. So naturally, a lot of right-wingers were outraged about this on social media. Here is journalist Megan Basham said, "The most defining characteristic of the left is ingratitude." Columbus, by the way, never set foot in North America, so he didn't really do a whole lot for us to be grateful to him. Sean Davis, co-founder and CEO of The Federalist, wrote, "This communist clown needs to be sent back." Okay. Ezra Cohen, who served as the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence during the first Trump administration, posted this. "He disrespects the critical role Italians and Catholics played in the founding of our nation. Shameful." And that's such a stretch. That's unbelievable. Cenk, they really seem to be doing their damnedest to just like dig up some kind of dirt on Mamdani, but this is so weak. Like the right, first of all, is never really that concerned with where people came from. Like once you're here, you're an American, damn it. But first of all, a lot of those tweets we read were not coming from Italian Americans. Also, these are the same people on the right who can't wrap their heads around the fact that Mamdani is from a country in Africa. Like they don't know that there are non-black people in Africa, especially in Uganda. Like there's a significant Indian diaspora there. Not that I would expect any of them to know that or to care about that, but my question is, do Italian Americans in New York or anywhere else really care that much about Christopher Columbus? I'm asking because honestly, I don't know. Like I get taking pride in the idea that an Italian founded this country, but he just didn't. Like at this point, it's just a myth that he discovered America. Besides, there are so many other notable Italians for them to celebrate. But one thing Mamdani, I think, should actually be concerned about, Cenk, is that they keep calling him a communist, and we've been around the block long enough times to know that the right loves to repeat something enough times so that voters eventually just stop thinking about it and they just start believing it. If they keep saying that he's a communist, then they will believe that he's a communist. And so I think he's got to find a way to drop that label or rebrand it or something.
So I'll get to that in a second. First of all, look, this is hilarious stuff. Sometimes people want to become considered victims, not actual victims. If you're an actual victim, you won't like it at all. Go to Gaza, see if you'd like to be an actual victim, right? So, but Italians, some of these leadership, not real Italian Americans, right? They're like, especially the right wing guys, they're like looking for a reason to claim racism against them. So was there racism against Italians when they first immigrated here? Absolutely, no question about that, right? Is there racism against Italians now? Come on, dude, who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? I don't know if there's a single racist person against Italians in the country right now. I'm not sure there's one. I've never heard of anybody being like, the goddamn Italians. Everybody loves the Italians. Like the Italians are so lucky. Everybody thinks they're cool, this, that, and the other thing. I've never heard anything but positive stereotypes about Italians. Oh, they used to say that we're all in the mafia. No, yes, some of you were in the mafia. Of course you were, right? Was it all of you? Of course not. Like that's the kind of dumb thinking like, oh, there's a Muslim terrorist, so 2 billion people must be terrorists. Oh, there's like 8 dudes in the mafia. I guess all Italian, like millions of Italian Americans are in the mafia. Of course not. Nobody believes that. That's super dumb, right? And then the other thing I'm curious about is, are any of them actually offended? I think it's all cosplay. I don't think it's. I think they go back home, play poker, and laugh their ass off. Like, I remember when we were pretending to be upset about anti-Italian racism. Pass the moots. Oh, wait, oh, that was an Italian word for Sopranos about mobsters. Oh, anti-Italian racism. There's no anti-Italian racism, shut up. So that's why they look ridiculous when they do this. To me, when I see this story, I'm thinking, to your point about his economic beliefs, that's something that could be debated, right? Like using the extreme word communism, Marxism usually disqualifies you from a conversation because it almost never matches, right? But Mamdani is an actual socialist. And so that's an interesting debate. But instead of having that debate, you're either distracting with words like communism, Marxism, terrorists, whatever, all that nonsense verbiage, right? Or you're going in this direction, which at least is funnier. Like, can you believe he was against Christopher Columbus? Do you think that he meant that against Columbus the guy, or because he just secretly hates all Italians? Or could it be because Columbus wrote in his journals, the women here are nice and naive, much easier to rape. So I've been raping all of the girls that I found on this island. And then a priest wrote back to Spain, I know, like, and this is within the context of that time period. Oh my God, I've never seen anything as bad as Christopher Columbus. He's chopping off hands and making them wear it around his neck. He's killing almost everyone here. Somebody's got to stop him. The guy's a total maniac. Maybe he was upset about that and not randomly hateful of Italians, which literally no one is.
And then what did the one person say? If you offend one community, you offend all communities. Like now he went from disliking one specific guy to offending all Italian Americans to offending all communities because he offended this one community. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, there are plenty of other notable Italians that people can revel in all of their accomplishments. You got Da Vinci, you got Galileo, you have like Stanley Tucci. He's great. Who doesn't love Stanley Tucci? You know what I mean? So like it's all just it's nothing, but it is very indicative of the fact that they have a right to be worried about Mamdani. They have a right to be worried about his popularity. I don't know how much of his platform he's gonna be able to get done if and when he gets into office, but let him try. Like why are you so afraid of just letting him try? And that goes for Republicans, but also for the Democrats. And I know we're out of time, but I do want to mention really quickly that the other Democratic and Republican, but notably the Democratic candidates in the mayoral race, specifically Cuomo and Eric Adams, there is some infighting there with the two of them. They're also all colluding and they have this effort is saying that they want to do to just get Mamdani out of the race. The man, he won the primary fair and square by a lot, Now Cuomo and Adams are arguing with one another over which one of them should drop out of the independent race. And it's like, who cares? Both of you lost. Both of you lost to this guy, just both of you just drop out. So yeah, maybe they'll take each other down instead, but they're trying to take Mamdani out instead, which is completely undemocratic.
Yeah, so to be fair, Adams wasn't in the primary, but he's polling at 8%. So he's basically lost already, right? There's no chance he can win. He's staying in there for ego or some sort of bribe to get him out and stuff. I know he would never take a bribe. So look, last thing for me is to your point again about socialism, and look, I don't agree with some of his policies, or I would not have prioritized some of his policies. But I'm looking forward to him trying. So is it going to be true that government-run grocery stores are going to make a big difference in the food deserts and lowering prices and creating competition? I don't know. I kind of want to find out, right? And I want to give him credit for doing something that I thought was nearly impossible. He has united establishment Democrats with MAGA. Both of them, they can't figure out who hates him more. But I think it's the establishment Democrats. And they're like, no, not someone who isn't completely beholden to the donors. He doesn't even like Israel. And that's not even true. He just won't kiss Israel's ass as deep as I do. You're gonna be all right, dog. Give him a shot, let's see what happens. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.